Come to today's class. This video specifically to my students is in Lagos State University. But if you were watching this video, do well to learn from it, as we will be discussing adolescent abuse, understanding what it is, the effect, and also how we could prevent adolescent abuse. Now, what do we mean by adolescent abuse? First, let's look at, we have two concepts, adolescent and abuse. Who is an adolescent? An adolescent is a person that is between the ages of 10 to 19 is an adolescent. Now, when we say abuse is not new to us in this class. It is a concept that was used over time. And if you don't understand what abuse means, you can refer to my other video where I did a preliminary class in introducing abuse, domestic violence, and the various types of abuse that come. Adolescent abuse refers to the mistreatment of individuals between the ages of 10 and 19. And this mistreatment can come in various forms. It is not only when an adolescent, an individual who is between the ages of 10 to 19 is being mistreated physically that we say that they are being abused. Abuse can come in various forms. Abuse can come in physical form. It could be emotional. It could be sexual. It can even be psychological. Sometimes we have people also carry out what we refer to as verbal abuse. Now, abuse can lead to several other things. It could lead to physical or mental consequences. Now, recognizing one thing that is very important that we must know, that abuse goes, the effect abuse have, especially on young people between the ages of 10 and 19, does not just have the physical effect it has on them is very minute, even when we compare it to the physical effect or we compare it to the psychological effect it has on these children. For instance, when adolescents go through or experience physical abuse, they can be maimed, they can lose some part of their bodies, they can sustain injuries, right? They can sustain different kind of bodily injury that would stay with them for a long period of time. Also, it could lead to psychological or mental consequences. Like, it can deal with their self-esteem to the end that they don't even know how to present themselves in public. They will become, not just that they become a shadow of themselves, but they will lack the ability to openly express themselves and stand up for themselves when the need be. What are the signs that we see and that we say that, oh, this is some form of abuse? Let's move on. Yeah, what are the different types of abuse? Let's look at physical abuse, which I've talked about, and this include inflicting bodily harm on our adolescents, beating them, using sticks, using wires, using ropes, pouring hot substance on them, using hot water. Some people go as far as using blade to make incisions on the body of young children, rubbing pepper in their private parts. They carry out all form of things that cannot be heard of, that should not be heard of. Some go as far as using hot iron on the body of these children just because they feel that they do not follow some order, or they just want to have some dominance over these children. We also have emotional/psychological abuse, and this will usually come in form of verbal threats and humiliation. When they do these adolescents, maybe they they offend or they do something bad, even when they don't even do anything bad, you see adults, they just you talk down so much on them. You say all manner of things that should not be heard of. You compare them. Comparison of children, of one adolescent to another, is a form of abuse. You make them, this can cause them to lose belief in their own ability and capabilities, right? They are humiliated. Another form of adolescent abuse is sexual abuse, and it is usually non-consensual sexual abuse. I hope you know that even if a child that is below 18 consents to sex, it is still a form of abuse because they've not gotten to the age where they can consent to things. So it is better to stay off these children. And this non-consensual sex abuse can come in various ways. We could have people who say, "Oh, touch my breast. How are you feeling?" They play with their penises, they play with their breasts, they stroke their hair. They have even having sexual conversations with these children or with these adolescents is a form of abuse. Asking them to sit on your lap, touching them in ways that they shouldn't be touched is a form of abuse. Then number 4, we have neglect. A lot of guardians and parents, they do this a lot. They neglect the children. They don't provide for their basic need. We see these adolescents, they go to work so that they can make ends meet. Some don't have clothes. They don't even have a place to stay. It's a form of abuse. Then we have cyber abuse. This has to do with online harassment and exploitation. You are sexting an adolescent that is yet to get to the age of consension is a form of abuse. Now let's look at the effect of adolescent abuse. We have psychological effects. The effect it has on children can either be psychological, where they have anxiety, they have depression. Some of them, as young as they are, even have suicidal tendencies. They lose their ability in their own to believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't think that anything good can come out of them. We also have behavioral consequences. These children begin to act in risky ways. They begin to build some form of defense mechanism. They may become very violent. They begin to fight everybody around them. They begin to harass people. It is a form of defense mechanism and is as a result of the abuse that they've experienced. Some even result to substance abuse, such as the use of hard drugs and substances. So many of it is going on in our society today, but we must ensure that we are not a party. We are not one of those people who lead to this kind of behavior. Now, we have the physical health issues where these children can have chronic pains, they can have sleep disorders, they start having nightmares and all that. Some even may have insomnia that can last for years. Also, another effect is that adolescents who have experienced abuse is likely to withdraw socially. It would not be able to have meaningful relationship with people, would have difficulty forming relationships. Now, how can we prevent this abuse? Number 1 is through education and awareness. When we say education is by alerting the adolescents around us that, okay, these are the things that contribute to abuse. If somebody touches you in this manner, if somebody talks to you in this manner, if somebody hits you, if somebody does this and that, just know, you point the signs to them. Then you let them know that when these things begin to happen, it is a form of abuse and they must report it. Now, parental guidance. We must be able to strengthen family support strength is important. It cannot be overemphasized. We cannot do life alone. We need our parents. These adolescents cannot even grow up by themselves. So they need the right parental guidance and support that they need. Also, we could use our legal framework. In Lagos State right now, we have the child right law. So the child right law clearly states what is abuse and what is not abuse and what is not abuse. And then when we see anybody or we know anyone who has been abused or who is still currently undergoing abuse, you know where to report to. Also, another thing that can be done is through psychological counseling. You could go for therapy, interventions, and the like. Then the last one is safe reporting channels. Must establishing helplines and support group to help adolescents report the cases, and they know that whenever they report, they are safe. They will not be victim shamed, neither will they be stigmatized in the society. In conclusion, adolescent abuse is a critical issue requiring collective efforts. One person cannot find a solution to abuse. We all have the opportunity to. We have the opportunity. We have the responsibility. Yes, that's the word. The responsibility to find not just support, but prevention and early intervention to reduce the prevalence of adolescent abuse. Now, I have an assignment for you in this class. And this is what I've written. A 15-year-old girl, her name is Sarah, has been experiencing some sort of abuse at home. Her parents constantly insult her, compare her to her siblings, and neglect her. You can see the kind of abuse Sarah is going through. Her emotional and physical need. As a result, Sarah has become withdrawn, avoid social interactions, and her academic performance has declined. She often skips school and has been engaging in risky behavior in risky behavior such as drinking and smoking. Now, here's the question. Identify the type of abuse Sarah is experiencing. Under what kind of abuse can we put the kind of abuse Sarah is experiencing? How might Sarah's experience affect her mental health on the long run? I want you to analyze and clearly state how this abuse, the kind of abuse Sarah is going on, how it can affect her on the long run. As a matter of fact, you tell me the short-term consequence and the long-term consequence. As a concerned friend or teacher, what step would you take to support Sarah? Suggest 2 effective solutions that society can implement to prevent cases like Sarah from occurring in the future. Now, I want you to answer this assignment in clear and concise manner. Make sure you don't use ambiguous language and make it as interesting as possible. You can submit your assignment to my mail address, oluwatimileyin@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. See you in our next class. Bye-bye.